and we didn't understood that we are on a highway and we are hitchhiking. He just want one of us for each truck driver. Let's go now, let's run. I can't deal with this anymore. So we had like a breakdown. How I'm going to survive for 3 days in there?
J'ai rangé mes pinceaux, mes photos, mes couleurs. J'ai éteint mon synthétiseur.
I can do it. Hello YouTube! Today I want to share the story of my life, I can say. I don't know which title I'm going to give to this storytime video, but it means a lot to me and it changed my whole conception about traveling, and it helped me a lot in my future travels. So just relax, take something to drink. It is a very long story, and if you want to listen, that's fine. If you don't, just don't skip it because it will not make any sense. Let's go into it. So 2015, it was 1 year after my work and travel experience. I also have done 2 videos about that, so I'll leave some links in the description or up here somewhere. And I recommend you to see that. After my experience in the United States, I gained a lot of knowledge, my English was better, and I was really confident. So I thought like, okay, I survived in New York, now I can go anywhere. I need to tell you that if you've seen the vlogs with United States, you already know that after my experience, I came home with a huge debt. I had to pay back around 3,000 euros. So I spent 1 fucking year to pay this money back. I was literally working for free, almost. And after I finally finished this step, I was so relieved and so happy. So I had to celebrate. I really wanted to go in a place, meet new people, and just learn something. And that was Erasmus Plus, which I wanted to do. I'm not going to give you so many details about it, but maybe you know, in order to participate to some trainings, youth exchanges, so on, you need to be part of an organization. I didn't have time to be a volunteer, but you have a second option. Some organizations, they don't manage to find volunteers to send to a project, so then they are doing a national call. Okay, where should I start? So I managed to save around 300 euros, and I've seen this beautiful project. As you can see, they were looking for 4 Romanians to join a youth exchange project in Nimes, France. And they were like calling me, okay, are you decided? Do you want to join? Please, you have so much experience. It will be wonderful. Just don't worry. And I was like, shall I go? Shall I not go? I was thinking, I don't think my budget is okay. I think I'm really tight. And I was like, oh, what shall I do? What shall I do? And he said like, come on, I need an answer now. And I was very spontaneous, like most of my time, so most of my life. So I said, okay, I'm joining. And then he called me again another day and they said like, look, we have a girl who wants to join. The problem is that she's only 16, so she needs like a mature person to go with her, to take her out from the country. So that included some documents I need to sign, blah, 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 that I will take care of her, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay. And he said like, please, I've seen you have been to the United States. I think you are the right person to take this girl out. And I was, okay, that sounds like a lot of responsibility, but I said, okay, I'll just do it. Why not? Her mother was a bit skeptical because I proposed them that they will come to my city because we have a really big airport in there, and then we can fly to Paris, visit a bit Paris, and then take a train or a bus to Nimes. That was my idea, because when you're going with this project, you're allowed to stay 5 more days in the country and they'll still going to give you the money, the travel money back. So I thought, why shall I not just visit Paris? Like, it will be such a huge opportunity. I'll just go in France anyway, and then there's no flight to Nimes or something, so I need to pass Paris anyway, and I want to see Paris. Who doesn't want? And her mom was like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. 2 girls in Paris. I don't want her I don't want her to go to Paris. I just want her to go to this project, blah, blah, blah. And also she said like, I think we should wait a bit with the plane tickets. I'm sure we will find some really good deals, like last minute. I think the prices are too big now, so we should wait a little bit. And actually this was already like 3 weeks before the project, because it was like a last call project. So everything happened really fast. And I was like, okay, we can wait. I've seen some plane tickets, like I've seen a deal. It was with Wizz Air, and I think when I checked the price for a fly plus return, I think that time was around 30 euros, but the dates were like not flexible. So that was exactly 5 days more than it was the whole training course. And her mom was like, yeah, I don't know, let's wait. And I was still talking to her like every day, and we were still arguing and doing nothing at the end. And one day she called me, you know what, don't worry. Like that was with few days before leaving. I had no tickets because I was still waiting for her and for this girl. And she said like, you know, don't worry. I just found like a bus driver who is willing to make all the necessary documents. So I'll send my daughter with him. And we found like a bus which is going direct to Nimes. So you don't need to stress, just go by yourself. We are fine. And I was like, shit, great. Like I just wanted to be kind and help her, and the organization like asked me to do so. And now they're just stepping back and leave me alone after I like missed these deals. Because the problem with Wizz Air, I was checking all day long the tickets, and since they understood that they're checking, they have this program, so on, so they were like rising the price every day. So I bought the plane ticket, I don't know, I think for 60 euros, so way more than the beginning, like double the price. And then I also chat with some French friends and asked them, how can I go from Paris to Nimes? Someone recommended me BlaBlaCar. I've heard about the concept, we also had it in Romania, I never tried it, and I said like, okay, I just made an account and I'll just fix it. With some days before, I've done a research and I found like a Spanish company, like train company, and they had so small prices, but they were only going once a day, and the trip to Nimes didn't fit with my arrival and so on. So I managed to buy a return ticket from Nimes to Paris. That was okay. It was only 15 euros or 10 euros. It was really cheap, but I had no clue how shall I go cheaper from Paris to Nimes. And by the way, by that time I didn't own a smartphone. I just had this phone, as you can see. Well, actually, I think you could go, yeah, I could log in on Facebook. That was the maximum thing I could do. But I didn't have a smartphone, I just had this little thing. And also I didn't bought any roaming. Yeah, I didn't have money for that. So I thought like, with no phone and no internet, I'll still manage my way around. Yeah, good luck, Amalia. So with one day before departure, I think I was working like from 7 in the morning till, I don't know, midnight or more. I'm not sure when we closed that day, but I think we closed around 1 o'clock in the morning. I took a taxi home, I started packing, and my bus was at 7, a bus which was going to the airport, which was actually Oradea. Unfortunately, I slept while I was packing. I just woke up 6:30 and I realized, fuck, I have half an hour to reach the bus station, and the traffic at that time is not the best. And I was so scared. I couldn't find the taxis. Like, I was like, my heart was like pumping all the time. I was like, okay, I'm not going to make it. Luckily, I managed to arrive there 7:03. So I've seen the bus was already leaving. I was like, hey, I want to go, stop. So I managed to catch the bus. And then I calculate the time. I'm supposed to be there, I don't know, let's say 9, or I don't even remember now. But then I fall asleep. But this time I set up some alarms before, like 10 minutes before I should arrive. But apparently the bus driver went extremely fast, and then I woke up by mistake and said, hey, where are we now? Did we pass the Oradea airport? And everyone is, yes, of course, 20 minutes ago. And I was like, holy shit. No! Okay, so I exit the bus and I had to take a taxi, which cost me a little bit more, but I finally managed to go on time for the plane, and the airport is super small, so it was okay. Then I went to Paris. I arrived to Paris, so like I was talking about mistakes, I didn't knew that there are two airports in Paris, one low cost and one like closer to the city. And of course with Wizz Air I arrived to the low cost airport, and the bus from the airport to Paris was 20 euros, and I was like, oh no, I didn't know about it. And now I need to pay extra 40 euros. And I said, okay, 40 euros less. Good job, Amalia. So I took this bus to Paris. I think I arrived to Gare de Lyon. And then I was thinking, okay, I got some internet in there and I was just checking BlaBlaCars. And I talked with some people, like I reserved a place, and I told them, okay, I'm in Gare de Lyon, you can just pick me from here, blah blah blah. And then I was just waiting that they will come or call me or anything. And then what I didn't know is the fact that BlaBlaCar in France, at least at that time, it worked a bit different than the way it's working in Romania. So in France, you book a place, but then the booking is totally useless if you don't pay. So you need to log in with your credit card and then just pay immediately. But in Romania, you just book a seat and then talk with the driver, and then you just pay cash at the end, like when you finish the trip. So I didn't know that. I mean, I've seen that you need to pay, but I thought like, okay, since I already told him where I am, I think it's okay if I can just pay cash. Well, I didn't tell him that as well, so of course other people booked the places. So I was just waiting and then ask other people, and they explained me. It's like, okay. And then I realized there are no more cars available, and it was already around 4 in the afternoon. I was like, okay, what else can I do? And then I check the trains, and the trip from Paris to Nîmes, it was 100 euros. And I was like, no way. Like, I came to France with 200 euros, and I already spent 220 euros on the airport bus. So I had 108 euros. If I would just buy that trip, like I'll have 8 euros for the entire time. And I was like, no way, I can't do that. And then I thought, you know what, I will just hitchhike. And then I was just asking people in the station, hi, can you tell me a place where I can hitchhike, blah, blah, blah. First of all, it was impossible to find people who were able to speak English, or I don't know, maybe they didn't want to, or they were not comfortable, but they were just like, no, do you speak English? No, sorry. And then I started like, some people gave me some indications. I remember I took the metro a couple of times in different stations. I would go out, ask more people in the street, and then go back in the metro. I will go to the same Gare Lyon because I thought it's like bigger, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing now? And then somehow I see like a couple, and they were so sweet, and I was just looking at the girl and just thinking, she doesn't seem French for some reasons. Anyway, I talked to her, and then I told her my problems and that I don't afford to go to Nîmes by train, blah, blah, blah. And in some point she was like, wait a minute, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from Romania. And she's like, great, I'm from Romania too. And so we started speaking Romanian. So she was like very concerned. She told me like it's extremely dangerous to hitchhike from Paris to Nîmes. It's like a crazy idea. It's hard to find a place to hitchhike, and on top of that, it's almost night now. So I should rather take the train. And then she said like, are you able to pay 50 euros? And I said, yeah, I can. But actually I thought like she's just going to, or 40 euros, I think 40. She's just going to, I don't know, I thought since she's a student, maybe she has some discount or something. So she actually paid 60 euros for me, and I just paid 40 euros. And then I just realized at the end that she has no discount, and she was just such a lovely person. Thank you so much if you see this video. And then her boyfriend was super cute, or her friend, I'm not sure. He was super cute. By the time we were buying the tickets, he just went and bought me a lot of food, like sandwich and water, because I was starving. I didn't eat since the last day in the evening, probably. So yeah, I didn't eat for 24 hours, and I was just extremely weak and scared, and I realized already that I'm in a big shit. Yeah, that's the truth. And then I reached Nîmes, everything was good. It was a bit strange. We had accommodation in a place which was belonging to the church, so we have really strict rules. The training was a bit strange as well. I mean, this organization, I think it was their first project which they were like hosting, so you could see that they didn't have so much experience. Also, I feel like they didn't respect so many rules. I don't know, I don't want to complain, I don't want to go into this, but for example, the trainer, one of the trainers, he was really hitting on all the girls, and that thing really bothered me. And also, he was showing that he's having sex with someone, like in front of everyone after the project was ended. I mean, the daily project. And also, this 16 years old girl, I met her there, and I was still somehow, her mom still called me after everything she did. She called me like, you know, Amalia, still I really expect from you to take care of her. Don't forget, she's 16. Don't let her to drink and so on. So I still had this responsibility with her, and I tried to be protective somehow. But also, like, after the projects, of course, people were like going out, drinking in the park and so on. But she was 16, and I was like, come on, let's call her Anna. I said, Anna, let's go home. Yeah, you don't supposed to do that. Like, your mom is really trusting me. And also, like, what was really annoying for me, that the guy who was this trainer who was like hitting her own girls, he was like, no, just leave her, let her do what she wants, you're not her mother, blah blah blah. And then she was repeating, Amalia, you're not my mom, please shut up, blah blah blah. So yeah, I personally didn't like the training. It was one good part. It's not about traveling, but one day they organized a really nice trip to Pont du Gard and Avignon. Pont du Gard was really nice, and in Avignon we supposed to go to a political meeting. That time this thing with the refugee was like burning in Europe, so everyone was talking about it, and I can't give you so many details now because I truly don't remember. I just remember we went in Avignon, and there was these politicians talking about how they can solve this refugee crisis and so on, and we were listening to them for 2 hours. No one thought about bringing a translator. Everything was in French. They didn't let other people to translate for us because the crowd was like, no, like, just shut up, blah blah blah. So we had to sit there, watch something, and don't understand anything. And then at the end, people were asking questions, and then we were all raising our hands, and like we're a group of like 36 people, I guess, or 40, and they were like pretending they don't see us, the politicians I'm talking about. And then at the end, we managed to ask one question. So one guy from the Romanian team, he asked the next question, which is, okay guys, but how do you think you're going to include this refugee with a 6-month program in your country when, for example, in Romania we struggle with the Roma community for more than 20 years, and it's pretty hard still to change their habits or so on. And these people, I mean, it was the woman, she was a politician, I don't know who, but she was really mean. Her answer was like, because you're Romanian and Hungarian people, you're racist, you don't know how to deal with this situation. So, like, what the fuck? Like, this training was related like with political stuff, how to help your community and so on. And then this politician accept us to go and be part of their meeting and ask questions. And then the answer is like, we are just accused and she's just calling us racist. Like, that was ridiculous. And also the trainers were like super embarrassed. So we just went out from the building. Sorry guys. So I don't know. Everything was so strange what happened to me in France and all the people. I'm sure it was just a situation, but I felt very bad. And I'm still disappointed even today for the way the politicians reacted to our questions and to the whole situation. Anyway, when the training has ended, we decided that we want to go to Marseille. Our train from Nimes to Paris was in the evening at 5 p.m. and me, the 16 years old girl that we will call Anna, and another Romanian guy, we plan to go all together. We already have booked these tickets, and me and Anna, we're supposed to stay 5 days in Paris and this guy 1 day. So we had 1 day free almost, from morning till 5 to see Marseille. So we booked like a blah car to Marseille at 7 in the morning. This time we knew how it's working, so we managed. And then we visited Marseille. It was extremely tiring. I don't know, we didn't manage to understand the city and where is the city center. I just remember we climbed a lot, really up to see like a beautiful church and the panorama, and then we went back to the station and took like a blah car back to Nimes. So we've done that. The problem is that during the training I had with me 2 pair of shoes. One like really comfortable ones and some shoes which are very, very heavy. They're comfortable. If you wear them like one day, I thought like maybe it's going to rain or something. So they're really good and waterproof. So yeah, that's why I chose them. But the comfortable shoes broke. So when I started visiting Marseille, I just wear these really heavy shoes all day long. And then at 5, we went back to Nimes and we were already waiting in the gas station, in the train station. Because I think in France it's like in Romanian, gara. Anyway, so we were in this train station at 5 p.m. and then we received a message from this Spanish company called, I think the pronunciation is Wigo, I think. So I don't know about today, but in 2015 you had basically 2 options when it's about trains. You either take the French train, which I think is called TGV, blah blah blah, and it's really expensive, or you can take Wigo, which is a Spanish company. They have fewer routes, and then you need to book with many days in advance. So you could even go Paris to Nimes for 5 euros, when a regular like the French company train is like 100. So we had this Wigo train booked already, and we were waiting for it, and then they wrote us, hey, the destination Nimes Paris will be delayed with 1 hour. And we were, okay, that's fine. And then we were there like up really waiting for the train, and the guy come and told us, like it's like security train station or whatever he was, hey guys, please don't wait here, 1 hour is too much, just go downstairs in like this waiting hall and you'll see on the screens exactly the arriving time, and just wait there and then come up when is the time. And we're like, okay. And then in the screen was like still showing 1 hour, and like when it was like with 20 minutes before we went up, and then we saw our train leaving. We couldn't believe this is possible. What happened, like the train arrived earlier, they didn't change the time on the screens, so we missed it, and apparently it was our fault. And then they didn't want to give us the money back, even though it was 15 euros, and they didn't want us to change or do anything. They were just say like, we can't do anything, I'm sorry. You can just go and buy train tickets from the other company. So that was extremely mean. I was so mad. Anyway, this guy, the Romanian guy, he had to go like catch a plane, so he just booked this super expensive train ticket, which was 100 euros, and me and this little girl, the 16 years old girl I supposed to take care of, like we were just lost. Like, she had some money, but she didn't want to spend them, like just 100 euros on the train ticket. Like, she was really stubborn. She had some plans with this money. And then about me, let's see. I think I had around $60. Sorry, euros. Yeah, so I had 60 euros. So I had no chance to buy the train, even if I would want it. There was no chance. So we panicked a bit, and then we decided to go back to the place where we stayed. And this place, which I told you, it was connected with the church, and it was part of the church. I mean, in France, the churches, they have sort of like hostels, not necessarily next to the church, but they're still like holy hostels. No, I'm so mean. Anyway, I don't know how to explain, but this was the situation. We went to this place and we just thought like they're just going to be nice with us and help us in some way or another. We just thought like if we can manage to sleep there, then we'll maybe find a very cheap blah blah car the next day. And they were actually really rude to us, and it's like, no, you can't stay here longer, you need to pay. And we were like, yeah, but we were, you know, you remember us, we were from this project, and you know, we have no money. They didn't care. They didn't let us to stay there for free. So that was really, really sad. Like, I don't know for how many times I already felt like rejected in just like, I don't know, 10 days. And it's like, why is everyone so mean in here? Like, why so hard? Like, it's not like we're lying. Anyway, in that mood, even though I was like 20 years old and I had experience in everything, I don't know. It's not like I gave up, but I was just lost. I crashed, like I didn't know what to do. I don't know. I was so disappointed, so tired, so hungry. So I didn't know what to do and how to act. And this little girl, actually, she was braver than me. And she remembered where is the organization building, because we just visited that place once, and she remembered perfectly the address. We went there. No one answered to the phone, like the trainers were not answering, like no one, just it was a lady from the organization who was in there. And then she managed to find someone to host us for one night, which was actually a politician. And she came, she picked us up, she bought us food, and we went and we stayed at her place that day, which was amazing. The lady that hosted us was so cute and kind, even though she didn't speak English, just a tiny little bit. And then we mainly communicate using our hands. At the end, like when she said goodbye to us, she gave us metro tickets for Paris. And that was great. And don't forget that. And then we woke up, we went to the organization the next day. We hope that they can buy us the tickets, because like I said in the beginning, you get your travel money back at the end of the project. It's just going to take 1 month or 3 months. You need to send the tickets and then they send you the money. And we went to them and we told them the situation. We have no money to buy these tickets. Why can't you buy the tickets for us? And then you don't give us any money back. Like, you need to show the receipts anyway. We need to send the receipts via post anyway. It's that simple. And they said like, no, for some reasons we can't do that. We checked the BlaBlaCar, but one ride from Nimes to Paris was 60 euros, which was again a lot. That was all my money I had that time, because yeah, I spent some money in Marseille and Pont du Gard and I don't know where, but only 60 euros I had left. And then we were thinking, the time was passing, and this girl was saying, you know what, let's hitchhike. And I said, no, that's ridiculous. She said, no, we will do it. We are together, it will be fine. I can't just come to Nimes and come so far away to France and don't visit Paris. Like, I made a plan, and then we are already so late because like the time was passing, and she already had like 4 days, and she said like, we can do it. And I was okay, yeah, let's hitchhike. Woohoo! And one volunteer, one French guy who participated to the project, he was really kind, and he drove us in a place where we could hitchhike. Now pay attention. We are in Nimes, somewhere where people are usually hitchhiking. It's just two of us, me and Anna, waiting for the cars. It's already like around 2 p.m. in a very warm afternoon. And then we are waiting and waiting and waiting. After 2 hours, a lady is coming, and finally she stops. And then this lady, I have no clue where she was going. She just told us, well, if you really want, I can just take you with me for a couple of hours and just drop you somewhere and you can hitchhike again. It will be almost impossible to find someone who is going to Paris from here, or even to Lyon. It's such a huge difference. From Nimes to Paris, there are 714 kilometers, so it would take at least 6 hours if you just find a car immediately, which is going directly. So we said, okay, why not? Like any other people we met, she was barely speaking English, but she was really, really cool, and she had really beautiful music. It was a really lovely trip. So we finally felt like better and happier. And then she dropped us, and then we were in such a weird place. Like we haven't understand where we should stay and hitchhike. Like you had like a parking lot, a lot of like tracks, and I think it was a shop in there, and that was it. And then we didn't like the place because it was a parking lot. What we actually did, we walked a little bit, we found a big road, yeah, and then we just started hitchhiking in there. We realized that the cars are going really, really fast, and some of them are really, really making signs and noises and looking at us, but we just didn't got it, and we didn't understood that we are on a highway and we are hitchhiking. And then we just see like a police car, not necessarily like a police car, but this type of policeman who is in charge with highways and taking care and checking if everything is fine. So he just came over, stopped, and asked us, what the fuck are you doing in here? And then his English was okay. We explained him that we didn't get it. We didn't understood that it is a highway. We have no driving license. We haven't seen the signs, and we just want to go to Paris, and we have no money for a train. He was kind because he was talking with another guy like, okay, what's wrong with these girls? Did you give them the fine? And he was like, no, I don't think they are lying to me. I think they're really innocent and they didn't understood what's going on. So I'm not going to give them a fine. And if you're wondering how I understood that, I actually studied around 12 years of French, but I was not able to talk anymore. I was just able to understand people sometimes. So, but I would just say that I'm not speaking instead of really trying and then be lost. So, we were lucky. He took us with a car. It was so strange because he put us in the back and you could see like really many signs for roads, and we were with our luggages. It was so strange. We were like locked in the bag, no windows. It was really creepy. I thought like, is this a really police security thing, or is just someone raping us? And then he took us to the same place where this French girl dropped us, so in this parking lot. And he said like, it's not allowed to hitchhike, but you can hitchhike here. So like, okay, thank you so much. That was lovely. What a lovely ride. Woohoo! And then we were in this parking lot. I think it was 5 in the afternoon. And then a truck driver stopped nearby us, and he's just looking at us, and he just said, "Where are you going, girls?" And we were like, "We are going to Paris." But for me, he looked very weird. And then he said, "Okay, if you want, I'm not driving to Paris, and it will be so hard to find someone, but I can take you with me, and I can actually drop you to Dijon. It is a very big parking lot in there, and it is a lot of traffic. You have some restaurants in there, some hotels if you have money, and I think it's the best place to find a car which is going to Paris." And we were like, "Okay, yeah, why not?" Because I don't know, this parking lot, but this guy was talking to us. We just thought like from there we will actually maybe catch a car to Lyon, because Paris was like definitely a no. And Dijon was a place we never heard about it, but we just trusted this guy. Why not? Or actually Anna trusted him, because for me he looked like he wants something from us. Like he was so strange. And I was like I told like Anna, "I'm sorry, but I'm not going with this guy. Look at him, he's so weird." And she said like, "Okay, so what the fuck you want to do? Do you want to stay and sleep here all night, or be raped, or what do you want, Amalia?" And I was like, "I don't know, I just don't want to go with this guy." And then she was, "Oh, fine, then I'm going." I said, "No, don't leave me alone." And also he asked us, he said like, "Girls, you know, it's not allowed as a truck driver to just take people who are hitchhiking." So he said like, "I have a colleague in the back, so I really want you to split." And I said like, "No, this is even weird. So he just want one of us for each truck driver? No way." And we said like, "We either go with you, we either don't go." He had like a blanket or something, a curtain, which was covering the back part. He said like, "Okay, but one of you needs to hide in there all the time." And Anna, she said, "Okay, I can do it." And we were okay. And then it was so strange and funny at the same time. His English was bad, his French was bad, his Spanish was bad. He tried to speak all of these languages with us, and he just knew like few words. And then in some points he was like, "But where are you from, girls?" And we're like, "We're from Romania." And he's like, "Really? I'm Romanian myself." And I didn't thought you're Romanians, because Anna, she was actually wearing a hat exactly like me, like this hat. And he said like, "For me, you just seems like very French girls." And then he started like, "What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah." We told all our story. And then he really wanted to scare us. So he said like, "Are you crazy? Why are you hitchhiking? Like, you can't understand. This is so dangerous. Anyone can take you and rape you and have sex with you. Do you really want that? Do you know what that it means?" And he was just talking about raping and sex and raping, and like Anna was already like terrified in the back. Like when we had like some breaks and he was smoking or anything, she just said like, let's go now, let's run. I can't deal with this anymore." But after like some hours, he just told us like, "Relax, I'm not going to do anything to you. I just really wanted to make sure that you understand the situation and you understand how dangerous this country is, or how dangerous is hitchhiking with truck drivers or whatever." He was really kind. He drove us to Dijon. And then also at the end we met his truck driver friend, who's Romanian as well. We changed some contacts, phone numbers. He just said like, "Please," he was actually acting like a father, "just let me know when you reach Paris, let me know when you reach Romania. I really want to make sure nothing bad happened to you." And then they also gave us like 10 euros each for a coffee, like some coins. So that was really sweet, because we were starving. And on the way he also gave us like a lot of sweets and food, which was wonderful, because again we haven't ate for not 24 hours, but yeah, maybe 16 hours. So that was lovely. And then we reached Dijon. And in Dijon I wrote this beautiful paper with Paris. I don't know, guys, but when I travel, I really keep like a lot of things to remember, like just to have this touch and to see like, oh, I brought this all the way with me, like it means so much. So it was 9 o'clock in the evening. I was holding this paper and having a lot of hope and trying my best. Anna, she was already cold, she was getting sick, so we found a place where we could stay inside. It was like little shopping mall, and at entrance you had like this coffee shop place with a lot of tables. So she was just staying somewhere in the corner. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I stayed in the cold for like 3 or 4 hours, and I think around 1 in the midnight I decided to go inside with her. It was like some 3 tables. They are belonging to a coffee machine, so they're not belonging to the coffee shop area. And then we just sat at one of these tables and we were just planning to wait until tomorrow. I remember I was a bit stressed with my camera bag and everything, but in the end we just fall asleep on the chair, like we were just sleeping like this. And I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I went and started hitchhiking again and again, and I was waiting and asking, and just everyone was just rejecting me, like, and me, or they were rejecting Anna, like we didn't manage until we met a guy. He was from France, but he traveled whole Europe. He even traveled to Romania. He was so cool. He was speaking a great English and he was extremely kind. Like we managed to tell him the story a little bit in like half an hour, what is wrong with us and why we are in this situation. And then he was actually begging people who were like exiting this 24-hour shop, like, hi, sorry, are you going to Paris, can you help these little girls, blah blah blah. The advantage was that he was speaking in French, so people were more likely to stop by and chat with him. And after some hours he managed to find a guy who was not speaking any English, but he was like, yeah, I'm going to Paris. Yeah, I think I can take them. He was not very sure. He's like, I don't have so much space. And then this guy was still like begging him, come on, please do it for me. And he was so sweet because he was going to Paris as well, but he didn't care about himself anymore. He was just doing everything to help us. So we got the third car, who was this French guy, and he was going to Paris. But he told us he's not actually going to Paris. He could only drop us to Disneyland. And we were like, okay, that's perfect. We will fix it from there. And then we had a really lovely trip, I can say.
Je pars à la dérive dans tes bras. L'hiver est un soupir trop long pour moi.
How can I need to be transparent because this trip was weird. He was really sweet. He was driving carefully, but for some reason he was smoking other things than cigarettes. Anna was super panicked. Like, in order to communicate, we just set up his phone in the middle of the car and we were using Google Translate. But still, like, in some points we drove to a forest so he could smoke, and then we drove to a place and he bought like I don't know how many espresso, so I really didn't get it. So that was a bit weird, but besides that we had a lot of fun and we are thankful to him today as well. But Anna didn't let me to sleep the whole road, the whole trip, because she was like, Amanda, don't sleep, like, what if something happens? What if he doesn't drive carefully? I was like, well, I can't do anything. But still, she would not let me to sleep at all, so I was dying. Like, we barely ate these days, we barely slept. I was having these shoes with high heels and then hitchhiking for 24 hours already, like I was dead. And the trip is still going. And we reached Paris. We decided to put our luggages together because it was cheaper. So we went in like this train station, where is Disneyland, and then because she was planning to take the train the next day from that place, and then you had like places for one luggage, which was, let's say, €5, so we could pay €5 each, or you have a bigger place where you can put 2 luggages and it's €8. So of course we chose the €8 one, like who doesn't care about 1-2 euros? And that was a huge mistake, because that means that we had to come back exactly in the same time the next day to pick up our luggages, because they were together, duh. And from now on, we just used our train tickets that this lady, the politician one who hosted us in Nimes when we got stuck, and she gave us some tickets, so we start using her tickets. And we just start traveling around until night. We've seen most of the important attractions. I was a bit sad because of course we couldn't pay any entrance to any museum or anything, and also I was joining Anna to buy souvenirs for her family, for her friends, and a lot of magnets and a lot of things with Eiffel Tower, and I was really so sad. I never felt like that about souvenirs. Like, if I have money, I don't feel like buying them, but when I realize I have no money to bring any small symbol for my best friends or for my family or for my brother or sister, like, it was so heartbreaking. Yeah, I was so sad. And then we went to Eiffel Tower around 12 in the night. It was really beautiful, and then we went a bit far away, not far away, but some meters, and that was a Thursday, if I remember well, and it was like as I understood, all Thursdays people are just like dancing tango, and the oldest ones are teaching the youngest ones how to dance. So it was really beautiful. That was really close to the Eiffel Tower, somewhere like near a building, but like outside, and I was just staying there and watching them. And like 2 meters, if you go and climb some stairs, you have another place where like some guys are doing like modern dances and like hip hop or anything. So Anna was watching these guys, and then I was watching the couples dancing tango, and then the Eiffel Tower was in the background, so it was really beautiful and romantic, even though I was alone.
Veux-tu venir chez moi passer la nuit? Veux-tu quitter la chaleur de ton lit?
And then somehow, because I was exhausted, I fall asleep. So I was like staying like this, like here it was like a building, and I don't know how, I just slept. And then I remember someone just woke me up. Hey, sorry, are you okay? It was like a guy. It's like, yeah, I just fall asleep by mistake, but yeah, I'm fine. Are you drunk or anything? I said, no, I'm just really tired. And then I thought maybe I can ask him, and he said like, okay, but what's up? Why are you alone? And I said like, okay, I'm not alone, I'm with a friend, and for some reasons we have no money to buy a hotel or a hostel, so we decided to just not sleep at all this night and just enjoy Paris. Yeah. And he's like, oh really? I can help you. You can come to my place. And I said, with my friend? And he was like, no, I don't think I have such a big place. It's just for one person, so I can only take you. And so like, okay, he's weird. He's not kind for sure. If he'll be kind, he'll take 2 of us. If he just wants me, then maybe he wants something else. So I said like, oh, thank you, you're so kind, but I think I'm fine. So then I took the stairs, I met Anna and said like, I don't know about you, but I'm dying. I really need to find a place to sleep. I'm starving, I'm tired, I'm shaking. I can't deal with this anymore. And she was like, yeah, but I want to see Eiffel Tower. Tomorrow I'm leaving. No, not Eiffel Tower, like Arc de Triomphe. I said, I'm sorry, I can't join you. I have no energy to do that. And then we start fighting because I said, I don't think it is a safe place to go at 2 o'clock in the morning to see Arc de Triomphe, or it was 1:30, whatever. And she started telling me, you're not my mother, blah, blah, blah. I'm so tired of traveling with you. So we had like a breakdown, both of us, and she just wanted to run away. Like, I couldn't stop her. She literally ran away from me. She said like, okay, I'm going to the metro station and I'm going by myself, and I just want you to meet tomorrow and we take the luggages and that's done. I don't want to see you anymore. I was like, no, I can't do that, because I just thought like, I promised to her mom I will take care of her, and now what I do, I just let her live. It will be my fault if something happens. I went to metro station because that was the moment when she ran away, and I was a bit lost. I didn't know what to do. I just knew that I want to find a place and I want to sleep. So I was in the metro station, lost and just looking around, and I was thinking, I should ask someone if they can take me to their place. I didn't have a better idea, so that was it. And then the first people I asked, they rejected me, and the second people, like, there were 3 girls, and I managed to convince one of them, like, literally, I have no money, can you take me home, blah, blah, blah. And I've seen that she was very skeptical, so I lied. I didn't say I have a flight in 3 days, because I thought then she will think I'll stay at her place for 3 days. And I just said like, look, my airplane is tomorrow morning, it will help me so much, can you take me to your place, please? And she understood me, because she have done this type of Erasmus Plus projects and so on. She really knew the concept and she understood the situation, so she said like, okay, I'll take you home. She was really kind. She gave me a towel. Finally, I managed to take a shower. And at the morning, she didn't offer me breakfast, but she offered me a coffee, which was great. At least I drank something. Yes, and then everything was great. I was quite on time. I rushed a little bit because I panicked maybe I'll be late. I found quite hard the train station or the metro station. So I lost some time in there and I already started panicking more and more. And when I reached the train station and I put this, it was my last ticket which I received from this lady. The ticket didn't work. Like, I really don't know what happened. It was new. I introduced it in the machine, but that the thing will not open. And that's why I really panicked. I looked around where I can buy a ticket. I was thinking like, oh, if I spent, it was some queues because it was like a big station, and I really panicked. I thought I will not make it. And then I've seen a lady going with her baby. This special entrance for ladies with babies or anything, or people with disabilities. And I thought like, okay, I will just cheat. I have no time to buy a ticket now. So I went with her, and she tried to tell me in French, like, don't do that. But I didn't understand. I didn't understood what she means. I understood that it's not okay, but I just thought that's it. But actually in Paris, at least that time, people were even jumping and so on, so not using tickets. But sometimes, or quite often, you have really big controls with policemen, like waiting and checking all the tickets. And this is what happened. And actually she like tried to tell me, and yeah, it didn't work. I was so stupid. So I went in and I just faced like a bunch of like 6 or 7 like police officers waiting to check my ticket. And the problem is that also I didn't cut these tickets, this ticket that didn't work. So I had nothing to show them, literally nothing. Also, like, I was chatting with I think I was chatting with a woman, and her English was also like really bad, and they just wanted to take my money. Like, they really didn't care what happened. I mean, I'm not proud, of course I did a big mistake and I cheated the system, but I was rushing. Like, that's not an excuse. The problem is that I was rushing and I didn't manage to fix somehow with them quickly, so I will catch that metro and reach that station and then take my luggage. So I panicked and I thought, like, what I'm doing? She's not giving a shit for what I'm saying. So I thought I already knew that I lost the chance to take my luggage, so I didn't care anymore. And I thought, like, okay, but how do I do with this? Because they asked me for 90 euros and all my money were 60 euros. So I was not panicked, but I said, like, okay, I'll play a bit of theater. So I'll make two. I start crying. I was like, what's happening? And people will stop by. So luckily they changed my police officer. So another guy came. And luckily he spoke English. I talked to him. He understood, but he didn't understood. He said, like, you need to pay the fine, otherwise we will take you with us, and then your parents will need to pay around 200 euros, and trust me, you don't want that. Now I was like, okay, there's no other option. Look, I have 60 euros. And he said, okay, but your card? I said, I have no money, you can check. And he said, okay, actually, we have another rule. We didn't talk to you about it in the last 2 hours, that if you have no money or no card, you give us your wallet and we will take everything from you. And I was like, what the fuck? It was so hard. Like, after 2 hours of fighting, screaming, crying, they just told me about that rule. Why they kept it away from me? Anyway, they just wanted more money, I guess. So I gave them the wallet. They took all my money, which was 60 euros. I signed all the documents and they gave me a last ticket I can use. And luckily in the wallet I also had like a small part with some coins, and they didn't check my coins, and also they didn't took my Romanian money, which were just enough to get from the airport to Cluj. So that was less than 10 euros. So they haven't checked that. That was really cute. And then I took this ticket, and yeah, what could I do? I just said, like, why shall I not try? Maybe this girl left the luggage somewhere. Maybe I can just go and check. So I went to Disneyland station, or I don't know how it's called, but the station close to Disneyland. First I went to this place where we left the luggages, and the guy told me, your friend came, she didn't know what happened with you. She wanted to pay us, but that was not allowed. So I recommend her to go upstairs in the first floor or second floor and to leave the luggage to tourist information or something like that. And then I went there, it was not there. I checked all the coffee shops, all the markets, everything in that huge station. I think I spent 3 hours checking every single place and asked them if someone came to leave a luggage. No, nothing. And then I lost my hope, but this girl managed to answer me, and she said, hey, I don't know what happened with you, but yeah, I went there and you were not there. So I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I was almost losing the train, so I just took your luggage with me, and I hope that's fine. I will ship it to you when I'll go back to Romania. No, this can't happen to me. Like, I'm in Paris, I have absolutely no money, or almost no money, no luggage, and no accommodation. How I'm going to survive for 3 days in there? I think it's enough for part 1. Before I'm posting the next part, I really want to find out, what would you do if you were me in 2015 with no internet, no SIM card, no smartphone, in Paris, no food, no accommodation, no money, nothing, and your airplane is leaving in 3 days? How do you survive? What do you do? Where do you find accommodation? Where would you ask for help? By the way, calling my parents was not an option. I really didn't want them to know all my struggles and then to fight every single time for the rest of my life with them because of that. Also, I thought, if I will tell to my mom my situation, probably she'll make a heart attack. That's why I kept it away from my parents. They don't know the story even today, so don't tell them. See you next time with my next vlog, Stuck in Paris. Bye bye. Subscribe.